Hey gang, Mark Sweeney here from Austin Dental Spa. Welcome to our Facebook Live, which we've done every Wednesday for the past several years. This one is significant today because it's the last one of the year 2023. We've had some great topics this year. For finally, after 3 years, we hardly mentioned COVID at all. We mentioned more recovery tactics and how to stay healthier. And we went through a lot of different topics of things that were going on out in the world in the year 2023, which was actually a pretty interesting year. And a lot of fun things happened. A lot of things happened in the health industry, and we tried to pass those along to you. This one, I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to do the topic we're going to do today, which is gratitude. We're going to talk about gratitude, but first, I want to make sure those of you who have tuned in regularly know that we have a theme every month of the year, and the theme for this month was Winter Wonderland. And we were kind of making a play on the word wonder, like wonder what he's going to say next, or wonder what he's going to talk about this week, because that's the closest we're going to get to a winter wonderland in Austin, Texas. There's no snow in the forecast till maybe February. And even then, it's doubtful. We usually get ice instead of snow. It's 70 degrees outside right now. Next month, we'll have a new theme, and this will, like I said, be the last Wisdom Wednesday of the year 2023 because our office is closed next week. I still can't believe next Monday is Christmas, and the Monday after that is the new year. We'll be back at work on January 2nd, and we will have our first Wisdom Wednesday of 2024 on January 3rd. So look for us then. We'll introduce a whole new theme for the month of January. We've already picked it out, and we're already developing lines around that. But let's go back to gratitude. This is a great time of the year. I do this every year between Christmas and New Year's to say, what do I have to be thankful for? What happened last year that I'm really, really glad about? And try not to spend so much time talking about what happened that I really, really hope I never go through again. So we're going to actually mention both those topics later today. But let's start with, what is gratitude? What's a good definition? Gratitude is a positive emotion that can arise when you acknowledge that you have goodness in your life and that other people or higher powers, if you believe in such thing, that other people or circumstances beyond your control have helped you achieve goodness in your life. That's about as good of an explanation as I've ever found. Many studies, as we started looking into this, there are a lot of studies out there and supposed experts on the topic of gratitude. They've done university studies, which we're going to mention in a second. But multiple studies have shown that expressing gratitude to acquaintances, co-workers, friends, lovers, even random strangers on the street, they can actually boost your feelings about humanity and increase your endorphin levels so that you actually feel better about yourself and about other people, which is an important aspect of it too. Researchers found that those who are prone to experience gratitude in their daily lives also have lower levels of depression and they sleep better. I know some of you, especially this time of year, have a little trouble sleeping. I read about it on social media where you're making a post on Instagram or Facebook at 3 a.m. saying, hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to visit you again, and stuff like that. A lot of people this time of the year have trouble sleeping because of all the stresses around Christmas and relatives coming to visit, etc. So let's get back to gratitude. How often is a good number? How often should you express gratitude? Well, most researchers say only once a day is actually enough. That's a sweet spot. Once a day to either pick a time. In the morning, that's usually mine when I first wake up. First of all, I used to hate alarm clocks, and now at 70 years old, I've kind of gotten to where I'm glad to hear that alarm clock go off in the morning. Some of my friends haven't been so lucky. So I start off right then after I hit snooze once, and 9 minutes later it goes off again, expressing gratitude that the big guy upstairs has given me another day to go out and try to make a difference in my life and other people's lives. So once a day is enough, but it's important to pick a specific time. Some people like to do it before they go to bed at night. A lot of us grew up in the 50s and 60s were taught to get down on your knees and pray before you get in bed at night. I was one of those people that we said the Lord's Prayer with my mother every night before we went to bed, all the way through till high school. And so picking that specific time, just like any other habit, and saying, more often than not, I'm going to do it at that specific time of the day, can help you remember to take that action. Combining gratitude with a daily practice also helps. Here's some good ideas. Upon waking up in the morning, think about what you're most grateful for. It could be your health, people in your life, the fact that you woke up. Number 2, do the same thing before falling asleep. Ponder what your gratitude is just before you nod off. Well, that wouldn't work for me because as soon as I get horizontal, I'm out. Number 3, and this is a great one, start a gratitude jar. Put a jar in the kitchen or by your bedside table, and through the day, write down things that you're grateful for as you think about them, and then tear them off the piece of paper and drop them in that jar. And then when you're feeling depressed or anxious, or you just need to remember what you have to be grateful for, reach in the jar and pull one out that you've written yourself in previous days and feel that gratitude. And then if it resonates with you, drop it back in there. It might come up again. Kind of like your own fortune cookie jar. Number 4, this is a good one. I've heard about this and never have done it myself. An effective way to reap the benefits as a daily habit is to do what they call gratitude writing. And there are many studies that say they ask participants to write down what they were grateful for in their lives. And there's actually even a university study that was done on 293 university students. It doesn't say what university it was, but I know it wasn't A&M because you had to be able to write. And so anyway, they did, I couldn't pass that one up. They did 293 university students, and they put them into 3 categories. And I didn't bother to see if 293 is divisible by 3 in equal numbers. That's how dentist brains work. Anyway, they had a control group, which did nothing. They were part of the study, but they didn't have to do anything. They just tested them at the beginning and at the end of 12 weeks. Another group was called the gratitude group, and they asked them for 12 weeks to write down things that they were grateful for in 4-week time frame, and then again at 12 weeks. And then the last group they called the expressive group, and they asked them to write about stressful experiences, quite the opposite of gratitude. And what they found is, and I found this quite interesting, they found that the people in the gratitude group reported significantly better mental health than those in the other 2 groups. The other 2 groups, negligible change in their mental attitudes. They didn't really differ that much significantly. So I thought that was quite interesting, that writing about stressful events and not doing anything, just continuing to live life the way you normally do, had about the same result. But expressing gratitude in writing over a 12-week period, and they found that was the sweet spot. 3 months of writing on a regular basis about what you're grateful for increased your happiness. So Here's 4 ways that gratitude writing can change you and your brain. Number 1, gratitude writing can unshackle us from toxic emotions. Researchers found that people that were daily gratitude writers, they asked them to use less negative terminology, negative words and descriptions. They asked them to cut those out, and they found out, interestingly, with this group of people, that it had almost nothing to do with how many positive words they used. It had to do with cutting out the negative words, the negative self-talk about you're such a dumb, what. Cutting out the negative has more benefit than increasing the positive. That's something you can take to the bank right now, as of tomorrow. Gratitude, number 2, gratitude helps even if you don't share it. A lot of people, they did gratitude writing and they wrote to a specific person, but they didn't ever deliver the note to them, and they still had a positive mental benefit from it. So it helps to write things down that you're grateful for, even if you don't share it. Number 3, gratitude benefits take time. As I mentioned before, they did at 4 weeks and they checked them again at 12 weeks, and they found that at 12 weeks was actually when they started seeing the optimal results in just overall wellness and feeling. They also found that gratitude has lasting effects on the brain, that 3 months after gratitude writing study, they studied these same patients and they did MRI studies on their brain, and they found that they still had elevated levels and less depression and anxiety in their lives, even 3 months after spending 3 months of doing gratitude writing. So now's a good time of the year, right before Christmas and New Year's, to work on your gratitude. Find things that you're grateful about, write them down if you'll take the time to do that, and let's see what happens. You might get some benefit out of it. As you know, I always give a health tip at the end. This one's the same old one about sleep, but with a little bit of twist. We a lot of us, again, that grew up in the 50s and 60s, were told, drink a warm glass of milk and even have a cookie before you went to bed. And that's old wives stuff. You don't hear that much anymore. People are like, oh no, I'm lactose intolerant, or no, I can't drink milk right before I go to bed. But there's actually some science to that. L-Tryptophan is a amino acid, and it's found in milk, cheese, most dairy products, eggs, chicken, turkey, and there was one other one that I thought was good, nuts. In large quantities, all those food groups have L-Tryptophan in them. And so that might have something to do with why you feel like falling asleep after eating a big Thanksgiving meal of turkey. I know it works for me. So if you're having trouble sleeping, or if you want to sleep better through the holidays, try a warm glass of milk, or eating some cheese, or go warm up some of that leftover turkey from Thanksgiving, or if you cook it at Christmas, try that. So those are my health tips. It's been a great 2023. I hope it has been for you as well. Thanks for tuning in all these Wednesdays, and we look forward to starting off 2023 in 2 weeks with another Wisdom Wednesday and a whole new theme. So thanks for tuning in again, and I'll see you 2 weeks from now for the first Wisdom Wednesday in 2024. Happy New Year.